Who is done? Who needs more time? State your problem and you get solutions from your friends. Okay? So get together, 4 or 5, just who the problem is, and the others give solutions to it till the problem gets solved. All right? Clear? Okay, go for it. You got 10 minutes or 12 minutes. Turn towards each other in the area. Just, we got 4 people. You guys can come over here, join with these 2 guys. You guys turn to the back. 4 to 5 people. Join a group. Join a group. Find your friends. 4 to 5 people. Can be 6, doesn't matter. Just, okay, get going. Full focus. Haribon. Haribon. You can just join the group. Try to switch around so everybody gets a chance to talk. Everybody should be involved, give some solutions, make sure everyone's problems are addressed and solved. Okay, you got a couple of more minutes. Try to finish up. Make sure everybody can contribute. Okay, last minute. Try to solve all the problems in the world. Okay, which group is done? Who needs more time? Okay, done. हो गया. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. We're going to scare everybody, the whole neighborhood. What you just did is called Ishtagoshti, or a Sankirtan meeting. You get together and you discuss how to expand the mission. Did you like it? Did you get some answers to your challenges? Okay, so you realized it's not just you who has problems, and it's also not just you who is smart, who's got good answers. So get together regularly with your team, with your congregation, and let them face their challenges. Let them speak their challenges. And then the answers are in the group. The answers are all there. It's not that you need one smart guy, who's going to tell everybody what to do, because it's just not the way how things work. Okay? So do this regularly, at least once a month. If you have a smaller place, you can do it once a week. That we used to have Sankirtan meeting once a week. We just did a kirtan, we read the scores, we read some quote of Prabhupada, one person gave a little presentation, then there were some questions and answers, some practical things were solved, who goes where and does what, and then Haribol, that's it, an hour, maximum 90 minutes, and everybody was ready to go. Most of the stores, like if you go to corporates who are really together, before they open the shop, they have a little get-together of the team, and they have a little bit of powwow, where they do this sort of thing. Okay, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. Yeah, we're doing great. This is our target. This is what we want to do. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go! And then they go out and do it. So have this regularly, and you will see it creates greater bonding. You saw the energy that was going on? This is the energy we want to see. Not just, me and my problem and me against the rest of the world, or that just doesn't work. And remember, the answers are already there in your group. Okay? Now, what are some of the common objections and excuses that you hear when you go on book distribution? Have you ever had people who had objections or excuses? Or they always say yes and just ask cash or check, what would you like? Yes, sir.
We already have. And then they end up showing us one of our books.
Okay, we already have the book. Is that a problem? No. Is that a good thing? Yes, because repeat customers are 70% of your business. Huh? Nestle's goal is to sell 1 billion product a day. 70% are regular customers. Whether it be chocolate, baby powder, coffee, you name it. Teas, they got it. Same customer. So then, what do? What's the solution for that? They show you the book.
You can tell them that you are giving gifts on the birthdays and on wedding anniversaries. You can pass this on as a gift to your well-wishers, to your relatives, to your best loved ones.
Oh yeah, very good. Very good idea. I didn't think of that. Yeah, sure. Okay. All right.
So we should ask which one is not with you.
Which one do you have? Like they come to the table and they say, I already have this. I say, which one? Then they show you Gita or Science of Self-Realization. Then you say, this is the next one to read. And you just give them the next one. And the latest one, or just what comes in sequence. Yes?
You can give donations if you have books.
Yeah, if you already have books, just support the cause, what we're doing, So they're already in tune. Yes?
So we generally say like, I know you already have, but we are giving for distribution. And on your birthday, you can distribute to somebody else. So in that way, you can get so much benefit.
Very nice. Other points? I was in Tucson, Arizona, the world's biggest trade show for gemstones, minerals, and crystals. Every stuff that they dig out of the earth. There was thousands of vendors and lakhs of customers. Anybody who has a gift shop, a store, a mail order, they all go to buy there, the jewelers, etc. There's people from all over the world. There was a Russian guy who worked out of San Francisco. He had 4 shops, this huge area all over the city, about 80 venues where they have these trade show going on. It's for about a month. And the guy, I showed him the Bhagavad Gita, and he said, Bhagavad Gita, Veda, I already know. I said, I know you already know. Whoa, but your team doesn't know. So these books are not for you, because you already know, you already have. But they are for your friends. In that sense, I said, for your team, for the people who work with you. Because they need to know what you know. Because if your employees are not as smart as you, how much are they going to do? So he said, okay, fine. Then I said, you know, you give whatever you like. So he went into his office and he came back and he held out his hands. And he said, guess what I have in my hands? Now, what do I know? It could be a gemstone, it could be money, it could be nothing. Huh? Krishna, I need a miracle right now. So I look him straight in the eye and I say, you have $108 in your hand. And he opened it up and it was $108. And I said, you know, the same spirit that's in your heart is also in my heart. And if you actually read these books, you will know whatever there is to know. And nothing more needed to be said. Then I gave him a big hug, and he knew that I knew that he knew. Everything was cool. So, work more on an inspirational rather than on a mechanical and on a structural platform. For every objection and excuse, there is a comeback. For every one of them. Okay? So, we're just going to go and take a few of the most prominent ones that you always hear and you always face, so that you get some ideas of how to respond and how to deal in such a situation. Now, if somebody says, I already have a book, you can go, or you go, hey, wonderful, that's fantastic. You see, different response, different scenario. If he says, I already have a book, and you go like, oh my God, then he feels like, oh, did I say something wrong? Right? He's like, is there something bad? Did I say something bad? No. So, but sometimes devotees just walk away. Have you noticed? They just walk away, and then the person feels bad. So don't do that to people. I have people come up to me and ask me, are you a Prabhupada disciple? I said, no, they just turn around and walk away. And I'm like, what's your problem, man? You didn't get your gulab jamun today or what, you know? So people are people. You have to know how to deal with them. What's some other objections or excuses that you face? Yes, sir. No time. No time. How are you going to help this fellow? Come on, sadhus. No time. Any solutions to no time? Mike, front. 5 seconds or your money back.
We can tell that it will give you more time to do your things effectively. The story of sharpening the tools.
Sharpening your tools, get more time. You can ask them, how much time are you wasting every day? Phone, games, trivia, media, spacing out. This will help you. Huh? What else?
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
So this is a message which is spoken to a warrior at the battlefield when he actually didn't have any time, but still he invested time to listen to this message. So you must definitely do so.
Yeah. And how long did it take to speak Bhagavad Gita?
About 45 minutes to an hour.
Huh?
About an hour.
About an hour, right?
Minutes.
And in that, the course of the world, the course of history changed. Are you willing to invest a little bit of time? We tell people, do you have a moment? And then, you know, it can change your trajectory, it can change eternity. I ask people, when I meet them on the street, are you here or are you everywhere? Where are you? You're here. That's good, because happiness is only here in this moment. It's not back there. That's already the past. It's already gone. It's not over there. That hasn't come yet. Happiness is only here in the moment. If you don't learn to appreciate the moment where you're in, you technically never really lived. And that's kind of sad, right? Which means you've been absent and just being a spectator to other people running your life. So little things like that. It's not that people expect to be convinced or to be proven wrong. They just want to get a little more bhav, you know? They want to get a little more ras, a little more monk wisdom out of you. That's why they bring up these excuses and all these questions. Some other questions? Yes?
They said we have on our mobile, our devices, we don't need a hard copy. We read it from the mobile.
That's wonderful. You see what we have now? It's called a redemption code, and you should push Ananda Tirtha to do this. North Europe has it. You buy the hard copy, you get the soft copy for free. Huh? It's a package deal. or you buy the soft copy and you get the hard copy for free. I don't care. Either way is fine for me because you pay the same amount and you get the bundle. You get a bundle. You get a package. Okay? Yes.
But we tell that this is a hard copy, you get a real feeling, and there are paintings in that which you don't find in the
Yes.
soft copies.
Also, what happens if your phone is down, if the internet is down, if there's no electricity, if the bomb goes off and all the data gets erased? It's not a joke. It happens. You still have books.
We generally say that there's a difference between the person and the photo of the person.
Okay.
So he's a real Shastra, you can worship it, it's a person basically.
Okay. Good. What else? What else?
Hare Krishna. We can also tell them that hard copy you can keep at home, and then soft copy you can carry with you
Yes.
whenever you travel. So
Yes.
it's practical.
Yes, absolutely. Like I have 2 full sets, hard copy, and I have probably 3 versions electronically on different devices. So they're not mutually exclusive. The solution is not or, the solution is and. And is the key word. So put and. All right. Okay, we move on. Any other objections, excuses that you normally face in book distribution? The price is high. Have you heard this? Okay, help out. Help out this person. Any solutions? Yes. Mike.
You might have purchased a blank diary, hardbound diary of this one from market. So I generally ask what is the price of a blank diary, where nothing is written in that, hardbound of this much of pages. So that they say 300, 400. So I say if a blank diary can cost you that, then is this not reasonable?
Okay. Yeah. I always travel. I always go to the bookstores. I always check on the prices. It's unbelievable. A book like this right now, you pay for a soft-bound, little nitsy-bitsy nothing book, minimum 250 rupees, 250 to 400 for a soft cover book. Really nothing, like poor paper, glue binding, nothing. So to have a 1,000-page book for 300 rupees, that is really, really a steal. It's really cheap. Okay? Yes. Mike in the back.
I also say that there are 20 pictures, color pictures. So even if you buy greeting cards, each greeting card of this size will cost minimum 15 to 20 rupees. So 20 into 15 is
Just
10
by the
rupees.
pictures, that's it. You got the price of the book. What else behind you?
So we can say, as you are spending so much money on the movie tickets, one movie tickets cost 300 rupees around. So now better.
300 now.
Yeah.
And that's not including ice cream, chocolate, cookies, this, that,
And that is-
parking,
that is-
tips.
That was 3 hours, and this book will it will stay with you for forever your life. So
Absolutely. Thank you. You bring this up. You hear this? You take note of that? Movie ticket? They can relate to that, right? Makes sense to them.
I generally say that this is your spiritual investment. Whatever you invest in this material world, this will just go away here.
Very good
But this will
point.
remain for your next birth also.
Yes.
So please
Invest in yourself. This is not money wasted. This is
Yes.
invest in yourself. Ask them, how much did you spend on your education? How much did you spend on your education? How much is your watch? How much is your mobile? How much is your car? How much is your house? How much is your dress? How much is your shoes? 300 rupees, you get nothing for 300 rupees nowadays. I mean, to get Bhagavad Gita for 300 rupees is a joke. It's absolutely cheap. Yes.
I say that Bhagavad Gita is invaluable. You cannot put some amount for that, but we are just asking printing cost.
Thank you. Just
I mean, it's not printing cost, but we say you can just help with the printing cost.
Yeah. You're not going to give them the breakdown. The paper is this much, ink is this much, binding is this much, transport is this much. We just call it printing cost. That means what comes to you in the hand, inclusive my sabji and my moving around. This is
Mitchell,
Production.
we can help anything above printing cost. So there's nothing like we are asking only that much. They can give more than that also.
Yeah. One time Prabhupada, it was funny. He I believe it was Brahmananda. He gave Prabhupada a donation, and then he said, "Can I have a set of books?" Prabhupada said, "Yes, that's $12 for the set of the books." He said, "But I gave you a donation." He said, "No, books is separate. That's different." So Prabhupada asked Brahmananda's mother for a donation, and she's Jewish lady, you know. So she said, "I've given you 2 sons. Don't ask me for any donations." Prabhupada said, "I'm a sadhu. I have to ask. You know, it's my duty. It's my duty to ask." You can always ask in a nice way. People won't object. Just be prepared that sometimes you will run into these kind of scenarios. Any other objections that you normally hear? Religious book, you should give it for free. You know that Prabhupada, when he said, yes, the book is for free, only transport charge, you know? Kurukshetra, Delhi, 50 rupee transport charge. It's true, we're only taking that. Any other? Bible is given free, Quran is given free. Why are you charging for Bhagavad Gita? If you sponsor it, I'll give it free for the next person. So you give the donation, I'll give it for free to the next person. Obviously, Bible and Quran doesn't grow on the tree. Somebody had to pay for the printing. So they were sponsored by a congregation. So you sponsor, I'll distribute 1 lakh Gitas for free in your name. If you like, we put even your picture and your name in it, you know? Huh? Why not? You be a generous person. If the Christians can do it, if the Muslims can do it, why can't we do it? Huh? Charity starts at home. Of course, sometimes they just argue for the sake of argument, and you can see that this is not going anywhere, this is a waste of time, so just move on to the next person. But sometimes they have valid, you know, points, or they're willing to be enlightened. So you have to see where it's worth having that type of dialogue or not. Any other objections, excuses? I'm not a spiritual person. I don't believe in God. It's so funny. I was in South Mumbai in front of Leopold's Cafe, and I met a guy, and he said, I say, Naveen, what's your name? He said, my name is Arjun. I'm an atheist. I said, that's very good, you know. He had problems, you know, with all this. So it's okay, it's fine. You know Arjuna Vishara Yoga? Huh? Same story, same. So you're good. It's for you. In fact, this is especially good for people who are not into spirituality and not into religion. You can quote, Sarva Dharmam Parityaja. Give up all religion. Hey, this is great. This is like the Mahavakya, right? This is amazing. This is phenomenal. So, it's just a matter how you present it. People are into wisdom, they're into knowledge, they're into philosophy. Sometimes you meet people, they say, I'm a Satanist, you know, I'm into the dark stuff. And then you say, well, don't you want to know what the opposition is all about? Don't you want to know what you're up against? You have to know your enemy, right? They say, yeah, that's actually smart, yeah. Let me check it out. And they get the book, you know. So, whichever way, yena tena prakarena, mana Krishna niveshe. Either way. Any other objections or excuses? Okay, how do you help this fellow? You ever met this? Gorapur? So, how do you help them? Mike?
That's very nice that you have that, but especially this Gita has word-to-word meaning, the full translation and the full purport. So that we can refer as a reference point, but for understanding purpose, if you read this, you'll understand the practical application of Bhagavad Gita in your life.
Thank you. Behind you, or besides you, behind you. Help out, yes.
So
Harish.
we
Go ahead.
we show them the quote on the back side of Bhagavad Gita. This is the world's most widely distributed edition of Bhagavad Gita, and it has changed many people's life. So because of the purport, which is very practical, can help you also.
Thank you.
Generally, I say that all the Bhagavad Gita has 700 slokas same, but difference is there in purport. So once you read its purport, that is the specialty, and by reading this already, what Prabhuji said.
Thank you. Two more in the back. Good, good, good. Any others?
After mentioning the point about the purport, we can tell them a few lines about Srila Prabhupada. Who is this personality who's written this book? If they hear about Srila Prabhupada, they'll be definitely mesmerized.
Okay. Yes. You give your own solution to the problem? Solution. Mike. You can say, I have 12 different Bhagavad Gitas in my home. You only have one Gita in your home? Huh? What's wrong with you? Huh? I was in Chengdu, China. You know Chengdu? No? Hot pot. And I was at the airport. I had one perfection of yoga in Chinese. And it's totally illegal to distribute in China. You know, I did 3 tours in China. Wherever you go, there's cameras, security, you're watched. On every lighting pole, there is CCTV, loudspeaker, and microphones. So even if you're in the park, in the forest, everywhere, surveillance. So I arrived and I walked to the parking lot, and there was a yellow Ferrari. And it was too good to pass up. There's a young guy sitting in the car. So I just walk up to him and I knock on his window, and he's on his mobile phone. And then I say, open up, and I slide him the book inside. And I say, I'm from Switzerland. And where are you from? He says, I'm from China. I said, really? There is still Chinese people here? And then I said, have you been to Switzerland? He said, no. I said, why not? What's wrong with you? And he was totally bewildered. You know, like, completely blew his mind. And I said, we're monks. You give a donation. And so he gave me 10 yuan, you know, which is, huh? Yeah, it's not enough. So I said, look at your car, man. I mean, people give 100, you know. So he gave 100. A security guard was already walking towards me, you know. So I took the money and I walked away, and we drove off. The point I'm making is that it's not so much about arguing with people or convincing them or being smarter than them. It's really more about giving them a second chance, giving them another opportunity. You know that book, A Second Chance, Ajamil? He had another chance. So give people a second chance. Sometimes you have to give them a third chance. If they don't want it, okay, fine, but we tried. We tried. Okay? All right. Go ahead.
Gita Press is famous in India, but this Gita is famous whole world.
Very good point. You can say this Gita was distributed 500 million copies all over the world. And it had created millions of devotees and thousands of temples. So this is global impact. You want to know what the world is reading. Don't try to put down whatever they're into, because that's usually not such a good strategy. Trying to tell them what they're doing is bad, or their book, or their guru, or just say, that's wonderful, that's fantastic, that's really great. And then all of a sudden, there's no more opposition, you know? It's just, hey, you know what? You know what? You know what? We're biased. It's us two against the rest of the world. You're such a nice guy. Let's work together, you know, to spread this knowledge and awareness and dharma to other people. If you succeed in making that bonding, that friendship, that team work, they'll help you. They'll do whatever you need doing. Okay. Any other objections or excuses?
I'm holding wine in my hand, so I cannot touch Gita. It is
Okay.
auspicious.
Any excuse? Any Any solution for that excuse? Put in a wrapper. Huh? I'll put in your bag, yeah. Yeah, people are smoking, they're drinking, they're eating non-veg. Oh, no, I can't touch this. We can't have this in our home. Sometimes they say there's war, it will create war. We'll create war in our home. What do you tell them? What do you tell them?
Because in
Come on, you're the sadhus.
in Mahabharat, so many, in Mahabharat, like we see that this Bhagavad Gita was heard by Hanuman also, Sanjay also, but they did not fight. Only Arjuna fought.
You can also say,
Sanjay is also Kshatriya, Hanuman is also.
yeah, there is a time to fight and then there's a time for peace. So you have to know when is what. Can't hear you. No microphone, no bhakti points. Simple as that.
Here, the result of fight was good, so there also the result of fight will be good.
Okay, yes.
Is there any day or was there in your life, you never had a fight in your house? In your society, there is no fight. If there is no Bhagavad Gita, all are peaceful. There will be some fight at least one day in your whole life.
And this will help you how to actually win the fight, how to actually be successful.
It is not that if you have Bhagavad Gita, then only you will have a fight. Fight is always there everywhere.
Yeah. Microphone in the front. Oh, we got one right here.
Hare Krishna. So Bhagavad doesn't tell to fight basically. It tells to do your duty because the Arjun was a fighter. That's why he has to fight basically. So you are a teacher. It will help you to teach better.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can say that a fight will be limited to the noon time, and in evening time they will have a common gathering, and morning time would be a good sadhana.
Okay. Haribo.
Actually, every day in our life is a fight, but this book will teach us how to face the trials and tribulations in life. That will not.
We can show them the last sloka of Bhagavad Gita, that where Bhagavad Gita there is no fight but there is victory and always all kind of glory is there.
Have you noticed? You start quoting Shastra, nobody's going to argue. They just accept because they know this guy knows his stuff. Can't argue with Shastra, right? That culture is still there, and they'll accept. So use it. Don't overdo it, but use it when it's useful, and people will appreciate. Yes. In the back.
So Bhagavad Gita, it is a fight of dharma against adharma. So in the Mahabharata also, Krishna tried to make a peace mission. No fight should happen. So at last, when it was unavoidable, that fight was
Last resort.
yeah. So
Thank
that's
you.
why it was there.
Good. Okay. Did your problems get solved? Somewhat. Okay. Of course, there will always be new ones, but you got friends, and friends will help you out to solve your problems. All right. What we're going to do now is, besides, in your student handbook, there is a mission exercise on page number, what's the page? 30. Assessing your performance, mission, objective, assessment, etc. I want you to look at this and fill this in. It's self-explanatory because you as a leader, you have to know what your mission is. You have to have goals, set goals for your community, and what are the objectives to achieve that mission, okay? Number 30, that's your homework, not now. All right? So just note it down. What we're going to do in the next hour, we're going to speak a little bit about sources of strength and inspiration. And what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to think about some hero, some person other than Prabhupada or your guru, but somebody you met in your life that really impacted you. And you meditate on that, and then you share that with your friend who is sitting close by you. Okay?
Which page you're talking about?
30. 30. Mission. You can see? Yeah? That's homework. All right? So don't do that now. Close your student handbook. We're on a different topic now. For the next almost an hour, we're going to discuss sources of inspiration and inner strength, because that's what's going to carry you. That's what's going to help you overcome all the obstacles, all the excuses and challenges in life. So we're going to work with the positive. So think and meditate which person or devotee impacted your life besides Prabhupada and your Gurudev, okay? So, and then share with the person next to you, and that will take a few minutes, and then we hear some feedback to the class, okay? So you think for a moment, which person stood out
So this is in relationship with book distribution project, which person stood out in impacting
in your life, in Krishna consciousness, just
okay.
in general.
besides spiritual master and Prabhupada?
Correct. Because otherwise you just get Prabhupada and Gurudev and Prabhupada and Gurudev and Gurudev and Prabhupada. And we just want to hear about the others also, the unsung heroes. Yes, question? Spiritual life, yes, spiritual life. Can also be somebody who brought you to Krishna consciousness, whatever. So just think about it for a moment and then share with the person next to you and explain to them why this person has inspired you or is inspiring you. And no, in general, in Krishna consciousness. Okay, is it clear? That's clear? Okay, ho gaya. Get going. Start with one. Okay, once you have it, team up with your neighbor and start sharing in pairs, 2 or 3, just whoever is close by. Tell them all the glories. Okay, start teaming up and sharing. Done? Who is done? Who needs more time? More time? Okay, 1 more minute, try to finish up. Feeling better? You look better. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, You saw the energy that was created by you just remembering your heroes, the people who inspire you. So do this regularly for yourself and also when you're in the association of others. And in this way you'll see how all the problems go away. Everything just, Krishna Surya Sama, it just blows it away. Somebody would like to share some of the things that they heard about what the other devotee told you? Yes, we got mics.
I was hearing about Ved Chaitanya Prabhu, about his senior, Gopi Bhav Prabhu.
Okay.
He was telling about how much inspiration he gives. He spends time with the devotees from wherever they are. If they have problems, if he comes to know, he can communicate to them. He will talk to them, he will encourage them, he will find out the problem, and spends time. Actually, anybody from their ashram, they can go to his room, spend from morning to evening, no problem. He can give time so much. And his solutions and problem for everything is only spiritual. To take care of sadhana and so everything spiritual solutions. And I was telling that he will never miss even a minute of morning program. Then he completes his rounds before 4:30, and along with devotee he chants all extra rounds, and never misses from morning program to means till the end of morning program. You will never find him anywhere else, no matter what time he sleeps. So kind of such a powerful personality spiritually,
Haribol.
very inspiring to
Jai. Thank you. Somebody else? Something you heard that was inspiring, memorable, that you'd like to share with the class? You got two mics. You can do stereo.
So Das Raghunath Prabhu told about His Grace Bamsidhan Prabhu.
Uh,
So he is a very scholarly person. He teaches us Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Vedanta. Still he behave like a new devotees actually. Like a new devotees, he merely serve us actually. He never show us as a senior. He treat us like a servant actually. He always in all cases. So his sadhana is also very. He wake up very early, maybe 2 o'clock or like that. He finishes early his sadhana. Till he doesn't show anything to others that I am something like that, and he means very. He don't show up actually to others.
Haribol.
How advanced he is. So,
Yes.
so
Thank you for sharing. Wonderful. Somebody else? Microphone. Central.
Prabhuji is serving many devotees, especially horizontal and vertical relationships. There are many devotees who is being inspired. Sundarabal Prabhu and Pundarik Vidyanidhi Prabhu and I forgot the Gokuleshwar Prabhu. They are so friendly to him, many devotees. So he can share his personal things and they can guide him nicely so that he is very able to do bhakti very nicely without any so much of problems. And many times they simplified the Shastri instructions also, which is very acceptable for the devotee to follow. So he's feeling very inspired by all those devotees. That's why he's sharing.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. One more? Somebody else like to share something memorable you heard? Anyhow, this is great. It's an ongoing thing. Glorifying devotees is wonderful activity. I had the chance to meet many of the old stalwarts of book production and book distribution. Brahmananda Puri. How many of you have heard of Brahmananda Puri? Brahmananda Puri is from Armenia, and he is the one who pretty much... Oh, let's see the video. Do you like movies? You're brahmacharis. You're not supposed to like movies. Huh? Okay. Fine. So we'll watch some movies and we'll talk a little more about. So sometimes life gets tough. Have you noticed? Sometimes things get hard. So it's good to have personalities, stories, verses, quotes, things that inspire you. You can just take solace in that, and all of a sudden it brightens up your day. Even if things are bad, then you still have the nectar. And the nectar is real. It's substantial. So, okay, we go to inspiration. You go to USSR? Yes. You just watch it, I'll comment. Sound. No sound is there. No. We need sound. Sound is not working. Okay, stop. Okay, just to bring you up to speed. Prabhupada went to Moscow in 1971 with Shyama Sundar, and one Bhagavad Gita and Easy Journey to Other Planet got left behind. One Russian boy, Anatoly, and the son of the Indian ambassador came to see Prabhupada. Prabhupada stayed in the Hotel National next to Red Square, and he cooked sweet rice because they could only get milk and rice and sugar, and he kept it in his lota that was from his bathroom. And he stayed 5 days. He met Professor Kutovsky, remember? The atheist. They actually got visa because they said we have a meeting with that professor. And he didn't know about nothing. But anyway, it worked out. And then somehow this Anatoly was communicating, and he got more and more information, and he got initiated, Ananta Shanti. And then the movement was very much underground because it was very risky in communist time to have religious organization. So then in 1991, they changed the law. It was glasnost, prestroika. And it was officially allowed to import religious books. So Brahma Muhurta from North European BBT, he printed 200,000 Bhagavad Gitas and Krishna books and sent them to Russia. But they were kept in the custom warehouse because they didn't know that the rules had changed and they didn't want to give out these books. So the devotees went out on the street to do protests, to do manifestations. There was only about 100 devotees in the country at that time. And they were demonstrating to get those books out. Here, this is Boris Yeltsin, the president. He got a book while he was giving a speech. You see here, somebody gives him a book. And so that's where we are right now. You can continue.
Вот эти 3 заявления на русской книге сейчас на после нервного срока. Вы обещали дать какой-то конкретный.
Вопрос рассматривается, вопрос на сегодня положительно денежный.
Как должен быть рассмотрен?
По живому виду.
Что все решается в соответствии с советскими законами. Но в данном случае вы нарушаете лично советские законы и говорите, что поживем, увидим, как долго еще мы будем их нарушать.
Не могу понять, неужели вы не можете хотя бы чуть-чуть так идти в ногу ставлению? Я этого не могу понять. Я смотрю, что мне кажется, такой вот стадом, вы настолько зарастали, просто на 100 лет.
This is Premavati. She was in jail. She gave birth. Her baby died in jail. So she's a very fearless preacher. She tells the judge there that he's like a dinosaur, you know. He's not getting it. He needs to watch TV and get the idea of what the new trends are because he's living in the past. Go on.
Смотрите свет, слушайте. Если вы смотрите, так слушайте внимательно. Вы смотрите такие тенденции. Ну не жизнь можно так работать и жить. Ну не жизнь вас могу выглядеть.
Спасибо вам за развлекательное.
Я извиняюсь.
Советских законов с той и другой стороны. На этом пути нас ожидают только успехи и только получение желаемых результатов.
No. After 2 months, the books were released. After 2 months of demonstration, they got the books. Keep going.
Before the books were shipped from Germany, the devotees which were demonstrating, they were only devotees which were there in Russia, and the whole Soviet Union, in fact. There was maybe 100 devotees altogether. So everything started from the books. The temple started from the books, the new devotees started from the books, and millions of books which were distributed after that. Everything started from these 200,000 books.
So, with the money that they collected by distributing those 200,000 books, Brahmananda Puri, he printed 15 million books. And for the next 10 years, that built the whole yatra. Now, when he started printing books, it was all illegal formally before 1991. He was in a small village outside of Yerevan, the capital of Armenia, in the mountains. And in the times where it was illegal to own a typewriter, he bought a printing press on the black market. He took out the street lights, he broke the wall of his house, he put the printing press in his basement, and he rebuilt the wall, put back the lights, and he started printing Prabhupada's books in his own home. And with his lada, with his little car, he would drive all over Soviet Union to deliver books to the different centers of devotees. Many times he was stopped, and they checked his car, they checked his documents, and he had to run away into the forest and escape, and just leave the car behind and get away. Otherwise, they would have thrown him in jail. So he's a good friend of mine. He passed away during pandemic. He had a lot of health issues. And he was a magnanimous person, very, very generous. He had 5 children. When I came to Moscow, he would always feed me, and all his children would stand there and watch while I was eating, you know. And it was just so funny. They were so generous, like so kind and warm, so loving people. And he had a big house in Moscow. And one time I was there with my spiritual master, and we walked around in the garden, and he was just picking fruits and berries, and he was giving us fruits and berries like that, and was feeding us, you know, what was from his garden. It was really, really kind. So we remember souls like Brahmananda Puri. There was another occasion, 2011 was 40 years anniversary of Prabhupada's visit to Moscow. We had a big celebration in Moscow, and one elderly lady said that they always held the programs at her home in a flat, just a normal 1-bedroom flat, with programs up to 100 people, shoes everywhere. And she, at one point, the KGB came, the Secret Service, and they were raiding her apartment. And there was one letter, because she was the key person in Moscow, so people would leave letters and messages and packages there. So she never knew what was in that letter, but because of one letter, she went to a prison camp, a labor colony in Siberia for 4 years. She was sent there because of that letter. And she said, then I went to Siberia for 4 years, and it was cold and it was hard work, but then I came back, I preached there, and then I came back to Moscow and I continued preaching. And she never knew what was in that letter. She never said, oh, you know, why did this happen? And blame this one and that one. No, she just thought that's just a small price to pay for whatever it is that I have to do to serve Prabhupada. So These are devotees that are really dear to our hearts. It's important to have your heroes, the people who are always there for you and shine a light on you. Bhakti Tirtha Swami.
I was extremely honored when devotees at the BBT in Europe asked if I could give
louder
some basic words of encouragement in relationship to Srila Prabhupada's books. Because as we know, Prabhupada's books are the nucleus, they're the artery of our society. In scripture, we have what is called the Paribhasa Sutra. That is the verse that helps us to understand, the entire text. The seed is like the seed that all other things of a particular text are to complement and to be in accord with. So if we think about it, in terms of our institution, Prabhupada's books are the paribhasa for our institution. That our whole lives are to be so much centered around his books. I'm in an unusual situation now. Of course, I'm handicapped, terminally ill with cancer, at least according to what the doctors are saying. I have 1.5 leg. My leg has been amputated, and I've lost almost 40 pounds. And I'm just hoping most of that weight that's been lost is false ego. That's going away. Anyway, on a more serious note, by modern technology, I'm having a chance to be with you. It was so much my desire, and Krishna is fulfilling that, even for a few minutes, just to be able to share some points here. But Bhavananda and a few other devotees report how Srila Prabhupada had mentioned that he really didn't want to come here. And obviously, who of a higher nature want to come to this horrible place, Martha Loka, so much degradation and lust and greed. But Prabhupada said how Krishna had encouraged him. You go and you write books, and I will help you. So it seems very significant that we constantly keep in mind that Prabhupada coming to this world was so much in connection with his commission in providing transcendental literatures. It seems so important that we remind ourselves how Prabhupada was up in the middle of the night and how he struggled so much to see that these books would be able to be available for the world, and how he read his own books. So if he read his own books, how much more important it is for us to read them in a scrutinizing way, as he was such a puppet for the previous acharyas. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita explains how such great pure devotees, when they're writing, it's in the spirit of sitting down, and Krishna is actually speaking through them. Practically, the majority of us, we came to this movement due to having contact with one of Prabhupada's books. And if we came another way, we became situated and convinced to remain in the society after reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And so many of ourselves as leaders, if you think about it, we're leaders because we're involved in printing the books, distributing the books, selling the books. And in many cases from the past, and for some of us, for some of you, we're still expertly doing that now. Printing Prabhupada's books in so many different languages. I was reading all kinds of literatures. I took initiation from all kinds of gurus. And then I read the Sri Ishapanishad. And I was finished. Because from reading that, it gave more clarity than all of the books that I had read. And it helped to clarify karma and moksha and artha and dharma. And most important, it helped me to understand what in fact was Sanatana Dharma that was missing in the other books I read and the other teachers that I'd taken shelter of. Let me just try to conclude one or two short points. Just as Prabhupada came into this world to make books available to us, we see that in his last days and even practically last hours, how much he was trying to make sure that the transcendental message was received. How he died on the battlefield. So from Prabhupada's entry to this universe and his departure, we see the importance of his books. So we want to go out of our way, constantly go the extra mile to honor Srila Prabhupada. And how do we do it? We read the books, we distribute the books, we print the books, we worship the books. But most important is that, as Prabhupada said himself about Gita Nagari prophecy in relationship to Gandhi, that the best way to honor a person is not by monuments, not by horrific kind of glorifications, but by creating a community that represents the ideas that that person stood for. So let us work like hell and try to see more how we can create communities that represent the ideas that Prabhupada has given us in his books. We don't want to abuse the books by beating each other over the head with things taken out of the books. Sometimes we take things out of context, or we use the philosophy just to beat someone and to try to force them in some way based on our ulterior motives. But we want to worship the books by creating a community that represents what Prabhupada wrote in his books. That means by going deeper and appreciating the essence of the books, living it, and then we can share it as a wonderful, powerful international community. Hare Krishna, thank you for allowing me to be with you. And I'm excited, hoping that we'll be able to be together more, especially as we keep this Paribhasa forefront. Prabhupada's books as the artery, as a major seed for our existence. Hare Krishna.
So in his Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj ki. So Maharaj, before taking sannyas, was known as Ganashyam. He was distributing sets of books by placing standing orders in universities. As the books were coming out, as the BBT was publishing Prabhupada's works, they went to universities and they signed them up that you will buy every new book that's coming out. That's called a standing order. And they did that not only in the US, but all over Europe, even Eastern Europe, in communist countries. You imagine, there's a tall black guy running around in communist country distributing sets of books. They had to hide, they had to run away, they got kicked out of places. I heard from Mahamuni, who was with him in America, one time they went to a university and the university was closed. So the Mahamuni said, let's drive off to another city, a few hours. And he said, no, I need to go to the bathroom, so just wait. He said, okay, but don't be long. We have a few more hours to go to the next city. So he went to the bathroom, and when he was in the bathroom, there was another person in the bathroom. So he started talking to him, and he was a professor of anthropology. So he presented the books to him. And then that professor got a standing order, and he called his friend who was doing Indology and Sanskrit. So he got 2 standing orders. He sold 2 full sets while just going to use the restroom. Why? Such a burning desire to please Prabhupada. Prabhupada was so pleased with him, he would cry tears. He was so ecstatic about hearing the reports of Ganashyam Prabhu's book distribution. It was massive, massive. He went to Africa and he did wonders, especially in West Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast, all that area. And he left a great legacy. When he passed away in 2005, I remember clearly, it was quite publicized the last few months. This is just a few months before he left this world. You can see like he's super clear, super sharp. Such a refined personality. You can see this is what Sankirtan does. If you do this process, you end up as clear, as sharp, as connected as Maharaj. So it was very transformative, very important time in my life, 2005, Junction. I moved my whole operation. I left Switzerland, I left business, and I moved my whole family to Mayapur. And this incident, his passing away, was instrumental to that. Because I saw, what's the point? You know, like, what's the point? Making money, spending money, it's just pointless. It's just useless. And we have such exalted personalities in our movement, and many of them are still with us. Some have already passed on. Many are with us. Some of them are unsung heroes. Nobody knows about them. Like, what is his name? Who was doing the Goshala in Vrindavan? Care for cows? Kurmarupa Prabhu. You may have seen him or remembered him. Very gentle soul, very quiet person, right? Whenever I would go to Vrindavan, he would just talk with me like we're peers, like we're friends, you know, even though he was the old guy, the Prabhupada disciple. And he would just hear all the stuff that I had to tell him, you know. And he was such a unique personality. He took care of the cows, he took care of the devotees. Very, very special personalities. So there are many unique sadhus. Inspiration will show you one or two more before we break. Czech Republic. You can put the sound lower. So this shows you book production. This is offset printing, how it was done before you had, you know, PDFs and doing all that. That's like old school. So all these stages that go into producing books, Prabhupada would supervise and personally monitor. Is Trilokatma, the Czech BBT, in charge? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had printing presses in 4 centers opposite the deities in the temple room. They're very noisy. Ever seen printing presses? The old ones? Chicka chicka chung, chicka chicka chung, chicka chicka chung, chicka chicka chung. And he had that in the temple room opposite the deities. He said this is like kirtan. These are called signatures. All these different pieces that are put together, then they're stitched or glued. So mobile is ringing. Now I know some people are asking why the book's so expensive now. It's because paper has gone up amazing high. Paper, transportation, oil, gas, shipping, everything. That's why books now are more costly. But I was just in Mumbai, I talked to Vinanda Tirtha, he's an old friend of mine, and he said normally BBTs can use up to 15% of their revenue for operations. Mumbai BBT is using less than 6%. So less than half of what they're allowed to spend, they're spending on their own operations. Okay? Administration and salaries and whatever is involved. So they're actually doing a very efficient job. They're getting audited by professional auditors. So this book distribution in Czech, that's their trick, how they stop the people with the... This is Lakshmi one. Little more sound. See that? There goes the set. Haribo. And always give prasadam. Always carry some prasadam, some sweets, some cookies, some laddu, something. That smile is not material. It's the first time the jiva is again turning towards Krishna and smiling at Krishna. And you're there, you can watch that moment when they actually reconnect with Krishna. Okay, go to Prabhupada. Till the last minute. This is last days before Prabhupada leaves.
If we are in devotional service, we get a different nature. And if we engage in the basis of sensibility, the result changes.
And then the karma is that they hope love the hate.
Yeah. And according to the association of different nature, we get a body. Karanam gunasamnasya sadasat janmani. Therefore, we should always seek good associate, devotee associate. Then on life will be successful.
Srila Prabhupada ki. So Prabhupada translated 22,000 pages of text. That's like 6 pages every night. Took 2 to 3 hours. And he got up at midnight. Srila Prabhupada said, I want to have the blessing to die on the battlefield like Bhishma. So he was always in the mood of Prahlad Maharaj to expand this mercy, this compassion to the conditioned souls. That was his meditation. And that was his mood and mission. Nowadays, people are really lost because they don't have a mission. They don't really have a mission. Just ahanidra baita maitun is not really a mission. It's not really good enough to have a purpose in life. So, by connecting with this mission of Krishna consciousness, we are actually getting saved from janma mrityu jara vyadi dukkha dosha anudarshanam. People are looking for purpose. They're looking for meaning. They're looking for a mission, something meaningful to do. If you can give people mission and vision, that's the greatest gift you can give to people. But we can only give what we have. If we don't have it, we cannot give it. If we're not living it, if we're not imbibing it, if we're not demonstrating it through our own example, then how much will our teaching impact? How much will people actually get affected? Not that much. You had plenty of teachers in your life that said, do as I say, but don't do as I do. You remember those kind of teachers? You see them in the teacher's room, smoking, drinking, talking, all kinds of mundane things. Not very convincing, not very good. So we're looking for people who are their achar and their prachar, like Haridas Thakur. Some people are good in preaching, some people are good in practicing, but we want to see both together. That is really the winning combination. That is what has lasting impact. So keep a nectar file of stories, shlokas, personalities that just brighten up your day, experiences that just transform you. And when things get a little rough, when things get a little tough, just remember those and relish those. Share those with others. One time we were in Vrindavan, and I got together a few friends, and we rented a taxi, and we went through Jaipur to Pushkar. How many of you have been to Pushkar? Have you been there in Camel Fair? Have you heard of the Camel Fair in Pushkar? It's the biggest trade show of animals in India. There's lakhs and lakhs, over 1 million people there in just a few days. It's less than a week. I mean, it's bigger, but the peak time. And they all come there. It started out as a camel fair. Now they're also doing buffaloes and horses and elephants and other things. So we went and we took darshan of Radha Govinda in Jaipur. And some very kind Bengali pujaris gave us prasadam for the whole group. There's about 7 of us, some Russians and me and a couple of God brothers. So we just rented the taxi from Vrindavan, Jaipur, to go to Pushkar. I had a couple of numbers and contacts in Pushkar. Nobody answered their phone. Nobody was responsive because it was camel fair. It was crazy. It's like trying to call somebody during Kumbh Mela, you know? It's just impossible, right? So I'm the group leader. I'm supposed to look after these boys. Meanwhile, the taxiwala, he wants to go back to Vrindavan because it's getting late. And I just go to hotels and I ask them for a room. We're 7 people. We need at least 1 room. And they just laugh at me. They think like, you crazy, man? You're out of your mind? This is Camel Fair. This place is booked out since last year. Everything is taken. Then they show you like the closet where they keep the brooms, you know, for cleaning. They say you can use this room. It costs you, 1,000 rupees a night. And I'm like, it's like not even for storage for luggage. Doesn't really work. So I tried 3-4 places. Nothing worked. Meanwhile, the boys are hungry and tired, and the driver is angry, and he wants to just drop us on the street and take off. So what do you do when you don't know what to do? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But then you also have to just give up. You have to understand, I'm not the controller. I don't have this under control. I have not figured this one out. This is way beyond control here. So you have to actually let go and say, Krishna, okay, it's in your hands. Whichever way. You can make a fool out of me or whatever you want. So I was just walking around Pushkar, and there was a boundary wall, pretty high wall. And I just walked along it, and then there was an entrance. I went in, and there was a courtyard, and there was a temple inside, in the middle of the city. And there was an old guy, an old Dadu, and he was in a chair, and there was a cot in front of him, a cot where people sleep, and he had his legs up there. And I went to him, and I was like, I need help, man. I need help. And he said, what do you need? What's the problem? And I said, we have 7 brahmacharis. we're doing Nagar Sankirtan. We came here to chant Hare Krishna and distribute Bhagavad Gita. And we don't have a place to stay, and we don't know what to do. And he said, no problem, son. No problem. Everything fine. Welcome to Krishna's temple. There's this Rukmini Dwarkadish temple right in the middle of Pushkar. And he's the Mahant. He's the guy who runs it. He said, okay, we'll give you a room, but there's a rule. You're only allowed to eat Mahaprasad. No outside food allowed. I said, okay, we can manage. We can do that. That's fine. So he gave us room. They gave us Mahaprasad. We had it's like Maharaja's palace. It's like big place, right smack in the center of town. And we went out mornings and evenings doing Nagar Kirtan, and the town was packed. You've been to Pushkar. You saw like small streets, everything. And people were ecstatic. They were really loving it. It was wonderful. All the books went out. After 3 days, we had to order more books from Vrindavan. Somebody had to bring us books because we ran out of books. couple of years later, I was at the Bhaktivedanta Manor in the UK, and one devotee came up to me, and we talked, and I realized he's a German guy. I said, "How did you join? How did you end up here?" He said, "I was a hippie. I was traveling in India. I was smoking ganja. I was in Pushkar, and I was staying in this one hotel, and there was that book, Easy Journey to Other Planets." I said, "Yeah, I know that book. We distributed that book in Pushkar, the Camel Fair, English books." And he got connected there, and then he joined in England. So, Krishna has a plan. To be part of Krishna's plan is the most meaningful, the most blissful, the most ecstatic thing that we can do. Tomorrow we'll speak more about organization. Prabhupada said to Giriraj Swami, this movement will spread through intelligence and good organization. So tomorrow we'll start making plans, see how to organize, how to strategize, how to expand the impact of the Sankirtan movement. Thank you for your kind attention. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasinubhyeva patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Harinam Sankirtan ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta-vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. And don't forget, tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock, Nagar Sankirtan, 6 to 7:30. So don't make plans for any, other events. We'll go, we do Harinam and Bhukti Sibhushan. He's going to tell us how it works. And the next day, the last day, we'll have a little test. It'll be multiple choice, super easy and fun, okay? So just go through your student handbook and also look at the principles and values and a couple of those things, all right? Okay? So see you tomorrow at 10:29. And if you can't be on time, at least be early. Okay? Thank you.
Hare Krishna. From today, Bhakti Vaibhav classes are starting in this room from 7 to 9 in the evening. So please don't leave your belongings here. So,